Others turn right in 3 days to fight in the rainforest. But the hunger experts had a really good time, eating fluffy and juicy, omega fish oil rich, chewing on a crunchy chicken charcoal grilled jerry, sour and refreshing vinaigrette salad. There are also delicious chicken oil mushrooms, and the soft waxy cube bullets brain snail. Good jungler. Let him pass the American tasting contest again. The Rhodope Mountains in Bulgaria. It has a footprint of 15,000 square kilometers. More than 6,000 black bears and wolves live there. Carnivore. It is one of the last wilderness areas in Europe. The film crew escaped with a nuclear-powered helicopter for 25 cents. Send Day to some empty roof deep in the mountains. Without any tools, not even hair. He wants it in 10 days. Walk to the village 30 kilometers west. Reservoir. Rely on the sun to figure out where you're going. Take a step and break the road down the mountain first. Taking advantage of the challenge, I am relatively strong at the beginning. Going as far as possible is the best strategy, but the steep terrain ahead will soon stop for you. Within a short distance of 30 meters, the height dropped by 100 meters. If you accidentally slip, I'm afraid my wife will have to remarry. To be on the safe side, you still have to change the route. Choose to trek along the hillside contour. Let's go around this area. We walked to the top of the mountain, climb high and look far. You can plan your next journey. Unfortunately, the situation is not optimistic. The road is full of mountains. It's impossible to avoid them. If you want to go west, you can only climb up and down with great effort. At dusk, the sky starts to drizzle. There you passed by a cave. I planned to go in and take a break for the night, but bears could also be hiding inside. So you need to be extremely cautious when approaching, except for the animals that have been picked up at the entrance of the cave for some time. There is nothing in Haigu. They just lay down with confidence. Go overnight because there is no fire protection. He's on tenterhooks. Slept intermittently until the next morning. Restart. To cross this river in the valley. Don't want to get your clothes wet. Face the risk of hypothermia. He found a big tree under the island along the river. Step on the trunk and move carefully. Arrive on the other side without danger. The mountain behind you is very steep. Jet. But the risk is still very high. If you step on a loose stone, the consequences are also unimaginable. It's safe to stand on the top of the mountain. He planned to go west along the ridge line. Although it takes a lot of detours, but you don't have to go over the mountains anymore. A few hours passed. It's time to set up camp again. Find an empty roof on the top of the mountain overnight. Collect a few dead trees scattered around. Build the best one-slope hut. Use the bark as tiles to cover the top gap. Finish all the work before it rains. I still don't want to live today. Sleep until 8:30 in the morning. It seems that the passive skill of 3 days of hunger and 9 meals will be triggered. I was so hungry that he decided to stay and find some food. I buried my head and found that there are large tracts of vinegar pulp grass on the ground. They can just eat it. Tastes sour and a bit like mustard. There's a bobcat tree growing next to it. Its young leaves are rich in fiber. You can also eat it raw. Another big circle around. Dayi saw a lot of chicken oil mushrooms. Not much to say. Put it in your mouth and hum. Overall, the harvest was okay. On the way back to camp, he found the subject to promote Kongjun. They make igniters and they move tinders. Knock open the hard shell at the top, exposing the dry tissue like a sponge inside. The overnight rain made the wood a little damp. It is very difficult to drive out fires by drilling wood. Dayi found 2 pieces of pyrite in the stream. Collisions can generate sparks. And there was the seed bone of a wild horse. This forest, the one most likely to kill him is the bear. Dayi took a handful of brown hair to make fishing line, and we put a camera on the tree next to it. I want to see if I can get something. Back to camp. Collect the dry grass and put it in the sun to dry. At the same time, they began to beat the pyrite tirelessly. After 2 hours of hard work, finally let the sparks ignite the wooden ladder floor below. Kong Chan's subsequent operation is still the original formula. Familiar taste. Dayi successfully raised the fire of love in his dream. Bake the chicken oil mushrooms on a charcoal fire, waiting to bake. Weave those brown hairs into hanging wires. When the whole department is finished, the meal will be served. Ripe chicken oil mushrooms give off bursts of fragrance. Still tastes fluffy and delicious. Dayi, who hasn't eaten well for a few days, gobble. In a few minutes, I ate it all as a bowl. There are blessings of fire and food. Finally got a good night's sleep. Removed the previous camera the next day. I saw a bear last night. Back to the Horses Sea Valley. I'm so scared bald that I have to look around and see that nothing is right. Quickly flee the area. Drill into thick bushes as you go. Afraid of bumping into a bear. He roared as he walked, to alert the other party that someone is approaching. Seize the opportunity to ambush the machine. Leave the bushes. And there's a river in the valley, and it's going east-west. Following along is not only convenient and fast, but also has a wide field of vision. Don't worry about bumping into a bear all of a sudden. While trekking, he noticed a few Roman snails in the grass. These guys are edible. Collected 6 or 7, put it in your pocket and let them starve for a few days. Excretes toxins from the body. Then the river suddenly turns. Dayi decided to continue following. See if you can get back in the right direction. Until the sky gets dark, the river has no intention of turning. He passed another cave, or stand at the entrance of the hole and yell a few words. Make sure it's empty inside and get in. I'll spend the night here tonight. After most of the day. The Mars in the Mutilaya army has not been extinguished yet. Dayi used him as a tinder. Easily raise the fire. Protected by a fire, so you don't have to worry about bears visiting at night. Those Roman snails can't be eaten yet. While drinking, he saw a bottle fish in the river, so he smashed the preserved bronco ribs with stones. Pick out a few broken bones to make fish hooks, earthworms as bait. Tie for fishing lines to branches and place them on the river surface. I hope to catch some fish for breakfast tomorrow. Tonight, I can only enter the water on an empty stomach. The next morning at dawn, Tokino went to the river to check the fishing line. Saw a taranfish biting the hook. Its joy is to give. Give the form of laughter. Can't wait to clean up the fish and put it on the fire. After 10 minutes, the outside is burnt and the inside is tender and fragrant. Put it in your mouth and take a few bites to make it soft and juicy. Firewood but not greasy. The slag that falls on the clothes is reluctant to set fire. Eating up all the belt bones. Replay calorie and protein. The physical and mental state has improved a lot. To recover the wrong path taken yesterday, Dayi decided to take a straight road over the mountains. It's more laborious, but can get as close to the finish as possible. But always worrying about Sokolo Island rolling down the hillside, with strong willpower. Supporting a tired and hungry body, travelled a long way. As night approached, Tatsuya stopped and raised the fire. Put the snail on a hot coals fire. I have a hunch that these little things will be delicious. In fact, on the surface, it gives people a good appetite. Waiting for the snails to cook, Dayi is at the door of the mouse hole he found, setting up a pirate trap. As long as the other party comes to eat the bait under the stone, it will trigger the mechanism and be smashed. The snails have been roasted. Break open the thin shell. Expose the big lump of meat inside. Dayi threw it into his mouth with anticipation. After chewing a few times, I gradually realized that something was wrong. Come to think of it, it's a lump of protein. Forced to swallow. After a few seconds, I couldn't help it. Almost spit it out with interest. He didn't expect the taste to never be as good as expected. It tastes terrible. Wake up again and enter the 7th day. He also urgently needs to replenish his energy to face the final sprint. The first trap set was not triggered. The one at the door of the mouse hole was triggered. Lift the stone and see a squashed Jerry underneath. Immediately arrange to bake on the charcoal fire. The size that could have been eaten in one bite. He tasted it 3 times. Full. Enjoy the satisfaction that every bite of food brings to your body. After eating, pack up your gear and walk down the mountain. After 5 hours of action, through the tree, from De Yi, he saw that there was a wave of light reflected from the water in front of him, and predictably, that was the terminal reservoir. So far, the challenge has ended successfully. Rwanda is known as the heart of Africa. It is also a paradise for wild animals. Surrounded by the largest in the world, it is also the deadliest wild animal. De Yi will live here for 10 days with his bare hands. Just got off the plane. I felt the scent of wild animals. It's near the equator. The midday sun can reach up to 30 degrees Celsius. Every 1,000 meters of elevation increase, the intensity of sunlight can add a layer. At this time, De Yi is like an ant on a hot pan. The sun on the naked brain door is particularly painful. The primary goal now, it's about hiding from the sun and finding water. Fortunately, there is a lot of wildlife here. De also discovered water, but the nearest lake is inside and outside Kigon. De can't walk barefoot. There should be other options. He found a path. The animals came out. That means there's water nearby. There's a herd of African buffalo ahead. They're affectionately known as the Widowmakers. More than 200 people die every year. Is a very powerful animal. Although they are dangerous, but it also sends a signal. There must be water nearby. Sure enough, Dyer found a puddle. That's what DJ was hoping to find, if it is not urgently needed. Do not drink it directly. It should be filtered or boiled first, but De Yi had no other choice. After replenishing water, he smeared some mud on him again. It's for your own protection. After all, the midday sun is really spicy. Him now. 2 major threats have been dealt with: dehydration and heat stroke, but still can't fight wildlife? Once you face them, all De Yi can do is bluff. Hope to scare them away. After doing all this, take the time to knit a grass skirt for yourself, so that he can shelter. His manuscript is now clean. It's unlikely to rain. De Yi's camp doesn't need a place to cover the rain, so I chose to rest in the shade of a tree. On the one hand, it can block the sun. On the other hand, in the event of an attack by wild animals, you can also climb a tree to hide. Is a necessary measure, but that's not enough. Sunset around the equator every day around 6 p.m. It gets dark soon. There is not much time left for De Yi. He needs to get the fire up. The best way to keep animals away is by fire. Fortunately, everything is dry here. The process of making the fire went surprisingly smoothly. It caught fire once. This is in De Yi's wild survival experience, but I don't see him much. Despite the blessing of the fire, De Yi still feels very insecure. It's everywhere. If it weren't for the sound of animals, there was a fire nearby, likely to be attacked. I'm definitely not going to sleep peacefully tonight. The next day, I woke up with a tired face on my face. There were animals everywhere. Fortunately, there are only some herbivorous buffaloes, no large carnivores. De Yi continued to explore the area. Discover the wild boar ahead seems to be gnawing on something. Upon closer inspection, it was a puddle of water, and it was covered with magazines. De Yi didn't think too much. It's a direct quote. This well can provide Day with inexhaustible fresh water. It was his most significant discovery of the day. I want to live on this high ground for a long time. You also need a stable source of food. Finding food has become his top priority now. De Yi, who is hungry for 9 times in 3 days, finally dug up a rapid menstrual plant in the ground. Each one burns about 100 calories. However, De Yi can learn from every. The heat gained from the fast route is probably only 70 cards, although he dug 4 or 5. But not as much has been lost. Lord Da has to be that Lord Da, although digging is hard. But tasting food is extra enjoyable. He can't stand it without any food. It's a little burnt, but it tastes really good, much like a starchy potato. It's just a little small. This made De Yi start to consider, how will the next time be spent? He wants to go to the lake. There will be more abundant resources there. On the 3rd day, De Yi got up early. You smear it all over your body. You come back to the water. Drink as much water as possible. After making all these preparations, he set off. The road ahead is filled with locations everywhere. It's too dangerous to stay in one place any longer. Avoiding the wild all the way. Raw animal. He didn't stop until he found the water's edge. I planned to live and rest here tonight, but unexpectedly reaped the reward of this move. There are many berries on the tree. Sweet and sour like raspberries. These berries are an important source of nutrients, rich in vitamins, carbohydrates and sugar. Lord died happily and contented. He doesn't care what else he finds. Before going to sleep, he pulled a lot of thorns. It has formed a circle around itself. Make sure you don't get attacked by wild animals at night. For days have passed. The Yi is still exploring the area. There are some animals all around. The giant hippo is just 30 meters away from his campsite. Fortunately, these hippos don't have any thoughts on De Yi. Otherwise, De Yi can't stand it. At this moment, he walked into a jungle. It's full of cacti. It's bearing fruit. This fruit is called plum fruit. It's edible. Just be careful when picking. It's not good to be reached by their thorn gate. Pear fruit is delicious, but these fruits have little effect on the leaves. What it's missing is protein. The grasslands are huge. Lots of animals, but De Yi is almost here. Lots of the food chain. No one can offend him. Half the time in the grassland has passed. He has to hunt. His first target was the lake birds. Hope these traps can bring some unexpected gains to De Yi. He spends. It took all afternoon to make these. On the way back, De Yi noticed movement by the water. Saw a big fish slap on the water. That's the good news, whether on land or in water. De Yi wants them to enter his own crossing. We did a standard set in the water. Traps are a common technique for catching fish. So let's use these termites instead. Now all that's left is to wait. De Yi came to check the trap. Found the trap intact. So far, nothing has been caught. Only to pick berries to maintain life. Time goes by day by day. De Yi's growing hunger for protein. But the trap is still nothing. There was no movement by the water until the last day. A fish is hooked. After days of waiting. Finally caught a 2-catty catfish. De Yi was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. And there's more than one. This one's bigger. Dinner can finally stop eating berries. You can make dried fish if you can't finish it. What could be more beautiful than this moment? Make people happier. Ended the challenge with his feast of grilled fish. Mongolia's Altai Mountains are a hostile environment. Cold climate. Even a survival machine like a camel can't survive. Now, Diju's going to challenge him. Ride in a nuclear-powered pickup truck from the setup group. Day quickly arrived at the challenge location. Still the same old rule without hair, without survival tools, not even a hair. De Yi will be within 10 days. Arrive at a nomadic settlement 40 kilometers away. In order not to freeze into old popsicles, De Yi put on a down jacket for the first time, but it still can't stop the biting cold at 80 kilometers per hour. The wind simply observes the surrounding environment. De Yi found a forest across the lake. Experience tells him there should be more living resources there, but to reach the opposite side, De Yi needs to pass through this frozen lake in front of him. The temperature here is only -10 degrees. The thickness of the hard ice cannot support his weight, but to save time, De Yi is going to take a risk. At first, the ice thickness was satisfactory. It was a steady walk. But as you move forward, the clicking sound under my feet make De Yi's hair stand upright in an instant. I don't want to die here at a young age. De Yi hurried back the same way. Next, we can only replan the route. Day continues along the lake. I don't know how long the trek will take. De Yi thought there was a wooden house at the foot of the mountain not far away. It's probably the pastures of the local nomads. De Yi walked over and planned to finish the water. Politely knocked on the door, but no one responded for a long time. Looks like they've already moved. So he went around the house, going to see if there are any supplies available. He found 2 tin cans on the ground. Can be used as a cooking pot, and plucked a little piece of wool from the stump. It would be nice to use as a pillow. Pack up, Day, and continue on your way. But I was so busy that I forgot the time. When the sun is about to set, De Yi will realize it later. Fortunately, There is a small forest ahead. Gubu's picky. Dayi immediately decided to live here for a night. Took a day to record. The clothes are already soaked with sweat. Dayi took off his soaked clothes. Put on a clean wool sweater. Prevent heat absorption by sweat and cause hypothermia. Then a large number of secondary cans were collected from the vicinity, spread on the ground as a mattress due to the lack of suitable living materials. I can only bear it tonight. The next morning, Dayi got up and moved his muscles and bones. The temperature last night was too low. After the body temperature is restored, Dayi packed his bags on his back and continued to set off. He found a ground squirrel burrow in the ground. Of course Dayi won't let go of this opportunity to get protein. Pick up a rock and plug the hole. Biting to cans of water from a nearby stream, I directly gave him a water-filled golden mountain. After a while, the squirrel can't stand it and wants to run out. This is just the right time for Dayi to catch him. This head is at least 2.5 hours old. To make time to hurry, Dayi packed it up first and took it away. The trek continued for more than 2 hours. They crossed the grasslands to the foot of the Altai Mountains. There is no moral map and no compass. They must plan a good route. This valley of trees. That's a wonderful choice. It's getting dark now. Dayi plans to rest here for a night first, nourish the spirit and replenish some physical strength to save time. Dayi gave up the traditional drilling of wood for fire, extract the lithium battery from the camera, connect the positive and negative electrodes with wire, heating the furnace with wire when short-circuited. Sure enough, I am not afraid to learn mathematics, physics and chemistry and travel all over the world. Tear into pieces with your bare hands. Put it in a tin can and simmer, while waiting for the delicious food to come out, just right for building shelters. You start with a tripod out of a log. Put some branches on the side for a roof. Lay some shrubs to fill the gaps. A shelter from the wind and rain. The construction is complete. As soon as I'm done, the gourmet feast will be freshly baked. Dayi couldn't wait to taste it. No firewood, no greasy, moderate salinity. Protein is dozens of times that of beef. Eat and drink. Lord Des slept beautifully. The time has come for the third day. Today's task is to climb over the snow-capped mountain in front of you. Rejuvenated Dino's footsteps are obviously much faster. After a while, they came to a lake. With previous experience, Dayi is confident that the ice will support his weight. Sure enough, after a while, they arrived at the opposite side of the lake, and he wasn't done. A sheer cliff, and the unknown depth of snow taught him another lesson. If you are not careful, you will pick a table and eat a big feast. Looking at the impassable snow-capped mountains in front of me, for security reasons, Dabion had to go back the same way. I'm going to detour around the side again. As the saying goes, how can you know if you lose a horse on the way back? Dayi noticed a few crows circling in the sky. Crows are eating animals. Where he is, there must be animal carcasses. Dayi followed the direction of the flock of birds all the way. As he expected, I smelled a rancid smell from afar. The camera pulls into the ground and there is the carcass of a goat, apparently eaten by animals. But to supplement protein, Dayi still decided to see if it was still edible. Cut open the belly of a goat. I took out the internal organs and put them in my mouth and ate them. I found no white spots growing inside. It means that the sheep can still be eaten. So Lord De carried him back to last night's business. I plan to take a day off and leave tomorrow morning. Dayi first stripped off the whole sheepskin. Then I fried some lamb chops on the slate to fill my stomach. The unfinished lamb is cut into strips and put them on the fire to smoke. This will delay the deterioration of the mutton. On the fourth day, it snowed again in the Altai Mountains. It's so white that I can't see the way forward at all. It's really dangerous. Looks like I'm going to be here for a few days. Fortunately, Dayi has endless lamb. He roasted the leg of lamb until it was tender inside. Look at this steaming roast leg of lamb. Just looking at it makes people drool. One bite is full of protein. After eating, he dug some wild onions nearby and stuffed them into his mouth, soothing and appetizing. This little life is simply not too nourishing. The sky cleared on the fifth day. Day packed up all his belongings and was ready to leave. The energy expended on climbing a mountain with a backpack, at least 3 times as much as walking on flat ground. In order to replenish energy, I have to eat jerky while walking. Day entered a broken city. Be very careful when walking on this terrain. Day almost broke his knee with one step of caution, finally got out of the rubble. The front is covered with thick white snow again. The sun's exposure melted the snow. Day also walks on the snow, a corner deep and a corner shallow, very strenuous. In order to increase the force area, he can only turn his body on his side, move forward. But that's not the worst part. Strong sunlight reflected on the snow. Jedi can't even see the way forward. You're going to get blood blindness if you go on like this. The Lord knows it's time to stop himself. He found a backlit surface. It took more than 3 hours to dig a snow cave overnight, take out the sheepskin as a compartment. Living in it is warm and comfortable. The next day, before the temperature came up, the ice hasn't melted yet. Day continues his journey, but as the sun shines into the valley, the ice is starting to melt again. Walking on this terrain is sheer torture. Day encountered a worse situation than yesterday. In some places it doesn't even reach the knees and waist. He had to crawl in the snow with his camera up. There are only 4 days left for the challenge. At this speed, it's impossible to reach the destination. Physical and mental exhaustion. Let Dayu's psychological defense line be completely broken. The snow still looks endless. Think about it and think about it again and again. Day dialed the rescue team. Decided to launch a challenge. As the pickup truck gradually comes here, Day's challenge ended unsuccessfully. This issues Dayu came to a place in the Philippines. The island is divided into one uninhabited coastline, remote terrain, resource scarcity. Dayu will challenge survival here for 10 days. I have to say that this island is still very beautiful. The scenery is picturesque. Just got off the boat. Dayu has to consider the issue of survival. The 4 elements of survival in the wild are fire and water. Food and camp are both necessary. But in the current situation, food and camp are temporarily out of stock. The current season belongs to the hot summer. In this weather, we must take the lead in solving the problem of drinking water. Fortunately, there is a coconut by the sea. Can be temporarily Tokino, addressing the problem of water scarcity. However, no matter where in the world, you always see human trash. And this place is no exception. When you are stranded on a desert island, you can use this garbage to survive. Dayu has collected a lot of airboats. Also found a lot of fish blood. These are great survival resources. Look around. Dayu found a lot of papaya trees. And the tree is full of fruit. It seems that there is no need to worrying about food for the time being, but that's not enough. The most important freshwater issue. If it can't be solved, then it would all be meaningless. Day turned around. Collected 5 more large coconuts. Plus the previous one, there are 6 in total. Although coconut water is rich in electrical properties, it's a great natural drink. It can quickly replenish water to the body. But too little water. Not enough water to support the body's daily needs. Want to survive here? You have to find drinking water. And it's getting dark. Germany also needs to set up the camp quickly. After selecting a tree to rely on, and found a lot of brown and green leaves as mattresses. Dry leaves enhance comfort. It also keeps you warm. It's very good survival material. After doing all this, I just hope nothing unexpected happens at night. The next morning, Dayu revealed a mask of pain. He's hot now. Limb weakness. I don't want to do anything. It turned out that Dayu had a fever. Worst of all, his skin was infected. If the infection worsens, severe cases can lead to cellulitis. It's a bacterial skin infection. If left untreated, let it go. Likely to be life-threatening. Day at this time, you need to dial a satellite phone for rescue. After the phone is connected, Medix instructed Day to open the first aid kit. Found the antibiotic inside. Tell him to eat it. If the condition does not resolve within 24 hours, then it can only declare that this survival challenge has failed. The next morning, Joe woke up feeling much better. Step back a little. The leg infection didn't get any worse. It seems that the antibiotics are working, although things have improved. But there's a problem. It's dry. So far, no freshwater resources have been discovered. Just a few coconuts is not enough water. DJ is ready to try papaya. Papaya not only provides energy, it also provides some moisture. After biting open another papaya, they were completely undercooked. The juice inside smells like hand sanitizer, hard to swallow. And the taste is astringent and bitter. This made Dayi really unbearable. I can only give up these papayas in search of other food. However, there is still a task goal to be completed today. Is life. Dayi found a nail on the beach. That's what inspired David. Found a glass bottle. Put the nails in it. Then keep shaking. After a while, you can get a complete glass bottle bottom. With the bottom of the bottle, you can live as a magnifying glass. This lifestyle should be familiar to everyone. Magnifying glass belongs to convex lens. Convex lenses concentrate light. The sunlight through the mirror will focus on a point. This generates higher heat. Reach the ignition point of a match, the wood can be ignited. This method is obviously better than drilling wood to make fire. It takes a lot less effort. With the fire, Tokino no longer has to freeze at night. Take advantage of the darkness. There is still a while. Tokino came to a reef area. I'm looking for something to eat at this place. After a few turns, I found nothing. Only these hermit crabs were found. Although they are small, but it's better than nothing. At night, Dayi tasted these hermit crabs. Found it tasty. With a strong salty taste. A scent from the sea. On the fourth day, Dayi still hasn't found any freshwater resources. He needs him now more than ever. Because there aren't many coconuts left. On the way to find, Dayi found a fishing net. It's an incredibly valuable resource. Although you can't bring fish today right away. But now Virtue has a means of survival. He just has to figure out how to use them. After collecting the fishing nets, Day continues to set off. Made an amazing discovery. He passed through a hidden waterway crevice. I found that there is a unique cave in the island. It's a secret spill. The scenery is really beautiful. This crab lake may be rich in resources. If you look hard, there may be unexpected gains, like a group of sea urchins in front of you. It's a gift of nature. Sea urchin yellow is the edible part of sea urchins. It's rich in protein. It's made up of 17 amino acids. Its composition ratio is close to that of the human body. Strong tendons aphrodisiac. The effect of strong bones. This is a big supplement for Dagellan. Happiness really comes by surprise. Solved the food problem. But still, can't hide the fact that no fresh water was found. After enjoying the tender and juicy sea urchin, he continued his search for fresh water. And up ahead, there's a mangrove swamp. This means that there may be fresh water flowing in the above ditch. That would be his last hope. Because Dayi's coconut has run out. If you can't find fresh water, I had to pack my bags and get ready to go home before departure. Day uses bamboo and fishing nets. Made a simple tripod. And it's filled with water bottles. Once fresh water is found, you can ship it back with this tripod. However, swimming in uncharted waters, it's a very dangerous thing to do, because you don't know what's inside this crab lake. Are there any other creatures? It's all fraught with unknown danger. And Dayi has no choice. Just give it a go. Fortunately, nothing unexpected happened. Safe to the shore. And that gives him a kind of post-apocalyptic joy. Dayi set off towards the front. After searching for a while, found that the soil here is very dry. There's little hope of finding fresh water. We can only transfer the destination. Dayi returns to the lake. He's going to try his luck on these cliffs. After a difficult climb up the cliff, finally found a puddle. It must have been accumulated by rain. Sure enough, people who love to laugh are not to bad luck. although the water quality is relatively cloudy, but at least fresh water. After returning to camp, he made a simple filter. Sand can remove large chunks of material. Charcoal can be used to purify water, and it's been done for thousands of years. It's very reliable. After a busy few hours, our Tayi finally drank hot water. Living is really not easy. Tayi, at this time, the 4 elements of survival in the wild have been completed. Simply survive. There are no more problems. In the days that followed, it depends on whether Tayi can survive. The state has changed to the state of enjoyment. Tayi found a lot of empty bottles. He wants to use the bottles as a trap for fishing. Although the fish here are relatively small, but if you catch a lot of them, that will be a delicious dish. After setting the trap, Tayi is on his way back. Met a little cutie. That's a Okazan. Perhaps they sense danger. He swam away quickly. It seems that there are still sharks here. It depends on whether Tayi can grasp it. After returning to camp, Tayi made an ancient double-barbed fish hook. Once a shark bites, the hook will get stuck in his stomach. I can't break free no matter what. After setting up 5 lures and cast a fishing net at the entrance, catch the fish that swim in and out of here. After setting it up, just wait patiently. But ideals are beautiful. It was harsh. As time goes by, Tokino thought he could catch a lot of bait. As a result, all the traps were looked at. Nothing. And there was this poor lure. This doesn't satisfy Tokino. I heard about this efficacious nest before I came. Commonly known as bird's nest. It's a very tasty food. No more nonsense. Tayi climbed directly up the cliff, came to a cave. Sure enough, a swift's nest was found. Now there's a treat. You can still eat this high-end cuisine before you leave. It was a worthwhile trip. This must be the best meal Tayi has ever had. The next day, Tayi can leave for home. Although this challenge is a bit unexpected, but it was finally done without a hitch. Madagascar's mangrove coast is a hostile environment. Dry climate. It is the state of mind of countless explorers. This time, Tayi is going to challenge him. This challenge is unlike any other. Tayi no longer needs to be in the most desolate place. Survive for 10 days, but in the most extreme environments. Push your limits. Prove that you can return to world fame. Ride the Higher Brothers canoe. Tayi came to the depths of the swamp. As usual, no food. Without survival tools. Not even a hare. Tayi will arrive within 10 days. A small fishing village 40 kilometers away. There is no immoral map and no compass. Tayi first relied on the sun. Identify the direction of progress. This swamp every day will be submerged twice by the sea. Tayi needs to get out of here as soon as possible. But this knee-deep mud made it difficult for Tayi to move. Every step I take, my feet go crazy offline. It can't go on like this. So Tayi went into battle with both hands and feet. Climb forward in a way that doesn't hold up. It took half an hour to finally leave these shallows. I thought the rest of the journey would be smoother. But then the front was blocked by a river. The water is very ordinary. There are also fierce crocodiles in the river. It is obviously not a wise move to go into the water rashly, so he decided to head northeast. And we walked. Dai has discovered a new problem. The sea is rising at an alarming rate. It turns out that this place is not suitable for long stay, and now it's getting dark. Tayi needs to find a place ASAP, a dry place to spend the night. Walked along the shallows for more than half an hour. Tayi found a block not far ahead. Raised sand. It doesn't look like it's been flooded yet. I walked over and found that it was really dry. Tayi excitedly sent it to give to. Just stay here for one night. Time came the next day. The goal today is to leave the shallows and enter the forest. Because he hasn't drunk water for 2 days, he must also keep an eye on the road, where there might be water. Walked for more than 3 hours. Tayi finally came to the forest, walking on dry, firm ground. Let Tayi be in a very happy mood. I haven't waited for him to be happy. A grouse suddenly appeared in front of him. Take a closer look at the grass. There are actually a few coon eggs in it. This made Dayi very happy. Bird eggs can not only add a little water, it also provides protein. Look at this pink and tender egg. Dayi couldn't wait to put it in his mouth and drink it. Replenish energy. Dayi continues to set off. After a dozen miles, came to a forest of baobabs. The baobab is known locally as the tree of life, hollow trunks and wealth. The underground rhizomes not only store water, the harvested fruit, it's also the food that the local people depend on. After traveling for so long, Dayi is already tired and thirsty. Picked a cool place to rest for a while, to replenish water. And he came up with this idea of baobab roots. Fell over with a stick. It took more than half an hour to finally dig out one. It looks like a yam. Can't wait to put it in my mouth and chew it. The roots of the baobab are 80% water. Not only can it replenish water, it also provides carbohydrates. After eating, Dayi didn't forget to bury the pit. This is conducive to root regrowth. It's getting late. Dayi plans to rest for a night before leaving. The time has come for the third day. Dayi is busy on his way. A few dropped baobabs were found. Breadfruit is rich in vitamins and trace elements. Dayi picked a complete one. Pry it open to reveal the pulp inside. The shape looks a bit like a walnut. Dayi picked up a piece and put it in his mouth. Tastes a little sweet, and a faint malty aroma. Finish eating. He picked up two more nearby and planned to eat them on the way. Keep going. Dayi found a dry riverbed. The soil here is very humid. Dig down and you might find fresh water. Just do it. Dayi took out his little hand and began to dig down. Sure enough, water seeps out after a while. This color looks about the same as bobo milk tea. Dayi drank directly. It tastes absolutely delicious. Jack's index is dozens of times that of beef. No water solubility. Up. Dayi drilled a hole in the picked up noodle package. Use the picket shells to pour in little by little. Filled with two. Dayi was satisfied with this. I didn't expect it. On the way, I ran into another wild spicy strip. The protein delivered to the door should not be white. Dayi goes beyond the stick. Do something physical about it. Then find a treasure trove of rheumatism. Dayi is going to rest here for a night. In order to eat delicious spicy strips of meat, Dayi has started his old business again. The climate is dry. Life is a piece of cake for Dayi. 3 strokes and 5 divides by 2, and a raging flame rises. Then throw a hole in the ground. Hover the spicy strips inside and charcoal roast. Then bury it in sand. Move the flame up. You can wait quietly for the delicious food to come out. Soon night falls. The delicious and juicy spicy strips are ready to roast. It doesn't taste greasy. The protein content is dozens of times that of beef. After eating and drinking enough, Dayi slept beautifully. Time has come to the 4th day. Dayi packed his bags and continued to set off. Walk along the riverbed. Dayi's speed is obviously much faster. If nothing else, Tokino will arrive at the destination soon. And here's the bad news. The fresh water carried by Tokino is running low until a new water source is found. Tokino must rationalize the remaining fresh water. So Dayi kept an eye on the water source while rushing, but no water source was found from morning to afternoon. Just when Dayi's stamina was about to run out, a small puddle finally appeared ahead. We are very close to the mangrove swamp. Dayi took a sip without hope. I didn't expect it to be fresh water. Forget about filtering and boiling. Dayi directly drank happily. With a water source, Dayi plans to set up camp. Drop by the mangrove swamp in search of food. There's a lot of life in these mangroves. The blue crab found many holes in the ground. There should be a big crab in there. Dayi poked it in with a wooden stick. He actually caught one. Look at this head. It weighs at least 2.5 catties. One is clearly not enough. Dayi found another bigger hole. The blue crab inside is bigger. Dayi wants to reach in directly and take out the blue crab, but just then, successfully caught 2 large blue crabs. Let Dayi suck up his clothes and return to camp. Raise the fire and put the blue crab directly on the fire to roast. After a while, Dayi can finally enjoy a big meal. Look at this big, plump crab leg. Eating it in your mouth makes you feel full of happiness. Every time I eat such a meal, the originally tired body instantly became refreshed. Time has come to day 5. Dayu has a premonition that he will leave. The fishing villages are getting closer. The next journey. The hardest part of this challenge. Walking on the soft sand. Not only is it very strenuous, and it reflects heat back on your body, in order to better observe the surrounding terrain. Tokino plans to climb the sand dunes not far away. Just take 3 steps and slide to steps. It took 9 bulls and 2 tigers, but I didn't expect the sand dunes in front of me to get taller and taller. He walked for a day without going out. The water I brought with me has also been drunk. It is impossible to reach the destination today. Tokino plans to rest for the night and leave tomorrow. Time has come to day 6. The dunes still seem endless. The fishing village has never been found. Dayu has doubts about the direction of progress. To know that once you miss the fishing village, what awaits him will be an endless desert. Running without walking once, many hooves appeared on the ground. Rekindled Dayu's confidence. If you guess correctly, it is not far from the village. Mao Jujing turned over. Last dune. Dayu finally saw the desert. The most beautiful scenery. The fishing village not far away comes into view. So far, Dayu has successfully ended this challenge.